Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now listening to the Talking Nonsense About Impact Wrestling podcast. Cross the line in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 61 of the Talking Nonsense About Impact Wrestling podcast. My name is Jeff, and alongside me, as always, are the gunner and pal to my Jeff Jarrett. It's Max and Craig, everyone. What's going on, guys?
I guess I get gunner. Did we get a new intro video, or has it always been like that?
It's been like that for a few months.
I don't watch our intro video ever.
Too busy watching football to your left, Max.
Well, that's football, yes, but usually I'm not looking at, like, I don't usually watch the intro.
Right,
because
I don't know why you
hear
would.
it.
It'd be the timing for me is the only reason I do.
Yeah, so the time, it just so happens that I watched this one, I was like, oh my
and
gosh.
we should be getting a new
Sweet.
intro song from one of our TNAIW regular fams, so that'd be really cool for Bound for Glory. We have a lot to talk about, a lot to get into. We have power rankings, we have a pins commercial. It's back for you guys. To our audio listeners, I say hello, and I'm sorry I haven't been reading out the trivia questions, but I'm going to get to that first. If you just saw, the answer to last week's was Gail Kim. The question was, which knockout has vacated the Knockouts title twice in history, and it was Gail Kim. This week's is a little homage to what I was just mentioning, a little immortal talk, 10-10-10. Who arrived at 10-10-10? And now I obviously said immortal, that's not what I mean, but who were they? Who were they? That's the answer this week. So, speaking of tagging me in, Craig, tag you in, my friend. What's going on?
Not much. I guess it's it's me. It's the MIC Craig, aka Mr. Impact, for your TNAIW channel. We are back and we are live. We're here, we're there, and we're everywhere. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Sounder, Spotify, and wherever else you podcast. Of course, if you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to hit subscribe. It takes 2 seconds, but it helps us a bunch. You see I know, it's similar to the side of me. One side
We'll
of me.
get it eventually.
The numbers for
You can't read.
He is literate, first of all. He just can't see it, so small. But
I mean, I am pretty much blind. I've got a lazy eye. I'm short-sighted, long-sighted. So I'm getting there.
It sounds like you're going to get glaucoma. I know something to help you with that, my friend. So real quick, let's get into this. Tag me in, obviously, I want to get to, and I won't forget, we'll talk about it right in a second after this. Knockdown was last night. We have some really good stuff to talk about, including the updated Bound for Glory card. But I want to thank all of our Twitter friends that are in this chat group right now, that are in our chat family, and then added the 50 of this week, so we're at 2885. We mentioned it last week and the week before. Our goal for Bound for Glory is to get to that 3,000 club, which we need 115 more. And the same goes for YouTube. We're trying to get to the 300 club, a little different, but we're stuck at 222, trying to get up there. But you guys are coming in steady for listening and watching, and we appreciate that. Once again, thank you to our audio fans. Thank you to people watching us and looking at our lovely mugs. We appreciate it. And to Twitch, too. We're up on Twitch by 3, so we're up to 56%. Or 56, excuse me. And staying steady over 200 with the listen. So thank you guys. As Impact grows, we'll grow. As we gain more friends, we'll gain more fans and numbers. So we appreciate that. But to tag me in, the thing they're doing now with the initiative there is about mental health. Obviously, on the show, we talk about it whenever we need to, or whenever we're feeling the way that we may be feeling. I always talk about being bipolar. Craig has mentioned some things. And it's about being transparent on the show, helping out others that are there, making friends compared to fans, or however you want to word it. It's about the camaraderie in the community, because wrestling helped me in a very dark time and has continue to does so. I don't know English. But yeah, man, it's really important. I'm glad Impact's on that. I know we'll get more onto the Knockdown with the Daphne stuff, but I thought it was a classy act, a great move, and if you can go to Pro Wrestling Tees and you have $24.99 to spare, go buy a t-shirt. they'll make a donation of the proceeds to the Tag Me In for mental health, to erase the stigma of mental health. Craig, do you want to?
Yeah, I just said, just help out. You know, I've been diagnosed with depression since I was 16, so it's difficult. But if you can reach out to someone, reach out and just talk.
Yeah, that's the key. I mean, I think if you could watch episode 1 of All of Us to now and just see the general progression of our anxiety and getting better and more comfortable. Except Max. Max is always Max. He's on one speed.
I am who I am.
All right. So
I'm like Usain Bolt.
One speed.
Just
Fast.
Yep.
I want to go fast.
Don't slow down.
All right, guys, we blabbed on enough. 6 minutes in, we're going to get into Knockouts Knockdown, but first, obviously, I'll let Craig do his thing and throw it to where he's going to throw it. It's going to be a little different this week, but let's start with that.
Yeah, so do we have power rankings first?
Yep.
I guess we'll take a look at this week's power rankings. Agree, disagree, let us know. If you want to be part of the power rankings committee, then just hit us up. I'm sure we can add you to the group.
Sir.
But this week's power rankings.
And she's back.
Let's see if our champion is disrespected.
We do not disappoint here.
Hi there, this is Doctor with Rangers of Wrestling, and here's your TNAIW Top 10 for this week. Number 10, Masha Slamovich. Number 9, ex-title contender Steve Macklin. Number 8, Rachel Ellering. Number 7, New Japan's Bullet Club. Number 6, World Champion Christian Cage. Number 5, Bound for Glory Josh Alexander. Number 4, Tasha Steelz and Savannah Evans. Number 3, Tag Team Champions DK. Number 2, Champ Deonna Purrazzo. Number 1, Knockouts Cup winner Mercedes Martinez. Those are your top 10 Impact Wrestlers of the week. Do you agree? Let us know at TNAIW channel. Back to you guys.
All right. Well, at least he made it.
I mean, I guess
he made it on there.
Almost rather.
Hey, you got to vote.
Make it.
Everyone has a vote here. I ranked Christian pretty high. It just the Knockouts Knockdown I think was insanely impressive. I like I think it helped and to see.
At least Bullet Club's
Yeah,
on
it was
that's helpful.
Yeah, it was a combination of the show on Thursday and the show on Saturday. So, I thought it was pretty fair, but up for debate as always.
Yeah, full disclosure, I don't think I voted. I think my entire list was all knockouts. So, speaking of knockouts, let's kick it to topic number 1 of Knockouts Knockdown. We had the opening rounds of the Knockouts Knockdown one night only tournament to find out the next number 1 contender for the Knockouts Championship. We had Rachel Ellering defeating Lady Frost, Chelsea Green defeating Renee Michelle, Tasha Steelz defeated Jimmy Senegal, Mercedes Martinez defeated Brandy Loren. We moved on then to Deonna Purrazzo defeating Masha Slamovich. Then Tasha Steelz defeats Chelsea Green and Mercedes Martinez defeats Rachel Ellering, both moving on to the final. Impact Wrestling announced the next Hall of Famer being Awesome Kong. Savannah Evans defeated Jordan Grace, Alicia, and Kimberly in a Great Monsters Ball match in a tribute to Daphne. Mercedes Martinez defeated Tasha Steelz in the finals of the Normal Contenders Tournament to win the trophy and be next in line for a Knockouts Championship opportunity. And in the main event, Decay defeated the Influence to retain the Knockouts Tag Team Championships. What do you think of the show? We'll go to Max, who starts this week.
So I'm not going to talk about the inspiration because, as you can tell in Hot Topics, that's number 4. So I'll completely leave that off the result. I thought it was a good show. it's funny because I know obviously Impact used to do things like this before where they would have like themed shows, but none of them really mattered in like the long context. It was like, hey guys, here's 8 matches that are just fun to watch. But with something like this, it really highlights how deep Impact's women's rosters are. Like, sure, they brought in other people for it, but a lot of the people that were in it were Impact talent and are Impact talent that you see on the regular. This isn't like I don't want to show on AEW, but this isn't like when AEW had their Battle Royal and they were marching people out there, and I'm like I watch AEW on the regular, and there were some people that walked. I was like, who the fuck is that guy or that girl? Like, I've never seen this person wrestle. I've been watching AEW for a year, so I really liked it. It was a good chance to showcase the talent. The Monsters Ball match, I usually hate. I don't like those type of matches. I personally get kind of squeamish watching people fall on tacks because I know when I step on a Lego, I want to end my life, and I can only imagine. But the Muscle Buster on the tacks, I thought was a really like super crazy spot. Deonna Purrazzo, every time she wrestles, she continues to impress me. I don't think she's had a bad match as a as a champion in Impact. It's rough because there's so many like different promotions out there, but I think she might be, if not number one, I would probably put her as like top 3 in wrestling right now when it comes to the women. And unfortunately, I don't know what's going on in Japan, so we'll just talk about in the United States. But she was really good. I was happy with Mercedes Martinez winning. I don't think she beats Deonna when she gets her title shot. But she's definitely a credible option and definitely someone that comes off as a threat. She pretty much ran through Brenny Loren. I like Brenny Loren. I hope that eventually she wins a match or two in the next year and a half.
Fair.
But no, overall it was fun. Obviously Decay wins. I think we had talked about. I don't know if we had talked about it last episode. I think about the possibility of it. Yeah, about who's going to win. But I'm happy that they won. I'm interested to see when their run actually does end. Because I'm wondering if down the line they're eventually going to get to a point where they give all of Decay the tag titles at the same time. So I'm interested to see like if Decay ends up dropping them early or if they're just like we're going to have the knockout side of Decay hold on and then eventually get the men's side of Decay. So I think that's going to be really interesting. But I thought it was a good show. Once again, the Muscle Buster onto the tacks was just disgusting. And Lady Frost, where is she from? Because this is the second time that we've seen her on Impact, right? She wrestled Deonna.
Where is she from, as in location, or?
Yeah, what promotion is she with? She's not.
No,
Impact,
she's a journeyman.
She wasn't anybody. Okay, I wasn't sure. I like her. I mean, I don't think it was the best match on the card, but I've been impressed with her. I like her overall as a wrestler. I think she's someone that up until she wrestled Deonna, I didn't know who she was, and then I saw her this time in that. So
yeah, I know we're doing superlatives, so you'll get to hear more of Max's favorite match and all that stuff, least favorite as well. So that's why we're not going to hit those talking points. But I will say this: there's a couple things that really stick out. One, I want to start by saying we were trending in the United States. We were trending #1, South Africa. For South Africans. So, I don't know anywhere else, but what people call a throwaway Impact Plus special, not this specific one, but in general, you hit it on the head. There was continuity here, so it made you interested as an Impact fan. It was can't miss. It brought in new people, so it made it can't miss. And it was booked incredibly well. The commentating team, I was nervous for, but flowed really well. The best compliment I could give them is that I didn't even notice they were there, which says a lot for the commentary teams now. I'm from back in the day, man, where I think the commentary team is just a soundtrack. They are supposed to, or not soundtrack, but the voiceover, just to elevate what's going on, but not stick out. And I know people like some of those. People like the Corey Graves, the Jerry Lawlers of all that, and there's nothing wrong with that. I just like to hear about what's going on in the ring, because I think there's a story in there that's more important. With that being said, both of them did wonderful. Mickie was really good about making her match with Deonna feel important. talking about it, and then Deanna reciprocating and talking about it on Twitter about how she gave away that her knees are bad. So really cool shit there. Christy Hemme, man, you know, if you asked me back in the day if I would, you know, care if she went or stayed, I probably would have said by the time she left, it was her time. She could only do ring announcing and all that. Loved her as a backstage personality. Never the best wrestler, but great spirit in person. But I popped when she came out. Popped even harder when Awesome Kong came out. I popped in the beginning, emotionally when they had the Daphne thing. And now this, for all the namesayers that didn't watch, naysayers and that did watch it and are complaining still about how dare they do the monster. She was the first, as Awesome Kong said, she was the first woman to participate in a Monsters Ball. How many Monster Ball later are we? Have 50? I think I looked on Wikipedia. We're on like 61 or something now. Oh yeah, which is our episode. Maybe that's what it is. But no, so, you know, they did a really good job. The same with, I think, since Homecoming, of not only promoting these Impact Plus specials as big deals, but making them legit when people finally tune in. They're not wasting opportunities. So I'm happy with that. I'm happy that from Turning Point on in November, we're going to be live on Impact Plus. So not us, unfortunately, but the pay-per-view itself, or the Impact Plus special, Turning Point, will be live for the first time. So they're going to start becoming live. What does that mean? You know, so I just think, man, that even though this wasn't live, this was fucking fantastic. I just say that out of the way. I won't get into the match specifically. I saw a lot from people I liked. Oh, Craig, let's hit up that real quick. I forgot. My bad. The poll there. I asked you guys, you know, who you were excited about besides for Melissa Santos being on ring announcing duties. I said it last night, man. Penzer, bro. Penzer better find something else that he can do because she's killing it. No, Penzer's great, but Mercedes Martinez was obviously the person everyone wanted to see. Lady Frost behind, and then Masha and Jamie. So pretty cool there. I know Craig wants to touch on something, so we'll do that, and then about Masha, and then we'll go from there. But all in all, before we do superlatives and I kick to that, I thought it was a great show. I thought it kept the momentum of Bound for Glory. It kept the momentum of Homecoming and Emergence and all of those ones before. It was good shit. It was really good shit. And there was not a match on there that I can say was the drizzling shits or something that I took a bathroom break. That is actually the best compliment I could give the whole thing. I had a pee from 11 minutes in, and I did not move off my couch. So that's something. My bladder was hating me, but my heart was full.
Yeah, so as I've mentioned there, I mean, great show, but something that was rumoured, well, it wasn't rumoured, it's spoiled for most people, unless you didn't read the spoilers, then Masha Slamovich was reportedly offered a contract at the end of Knockdown, and there are pictures to prove this, but it wasn't aired at the end of the show like many news outlets had reported it would be. Now, maybe this is because they didn't know they're going to be signing the IInspiration at that point, so maybe that's why they didn't air it, but it was certainly got people talking, and maybe that's the one thing that's actually fun to complain about.
You want to go? Yeah.
You know, sometimes like people coming out and being offered contracts, sometimes that's cool and exciting. Obviously, I mean, I'll go back to AEW when Fuego del Sol got one and Sammy Guevara walked. Like, that was really cool. But other times, like, showing them afterwards or like, hey, look, you got a contract. It's just kind of like, okay, cool. Like, I would personally, for me, I would just much rather this person just show up on Impact and then them tell you, or if you're gonna have a long-term storyline afterwards, I don't know. Just to me, like having people walk like, oh yeah, here, offer the contract. Like, it's cool to see in person and be excited for like, oh, but in terms of like a television thing, like seeing it on television, I don't necessarily think it's something that needs to be shown or is really that big a deal.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know inside source-wise if that's how they do it. When Josh got offered his, it looked like they had already been in negotiations. I mean, Josh was offered one in live event. I think Larry D was offered one maybe.
Larry D. Impact Plus.
AC Romero. So they've been doing that, and I don't think that they did it and then said, "Oh wait, she's not going to sign with us." No, I think she's signed. I think she has to finish some dates out. I think she's getting the spot. Unfortunately, not. I kind of figure that she's getting that Killer Kelly spot. Unfortunately, for Killer Kelly, who's taken some time off, but good for Masha because I think there's some talent there. I like the character. She did not look less than Deanna. I thought they had a good match. But the real reason I think they put that out there, and I said it last night, if this is true, and I'll do some digging, then this is next level Impact shit. Okay, they knew people were in place. They knew people were there. They know people are gonna take pictures no matter what or talk, right? So they tell PW Insider that this is what's gonna happen, and PW Insider says, if you read it, Impact has said that they are going to announce a signing at the end of the show, or during the show, right? I think that's all that was said, besides the people assuming that it was Masha. Wonder if they taped that shit just to trick us up. Because I didn't know, when Masha didn't get her contract after her match, after she lost, I said, something's, okay, let's see, maybe it's at the end. But then when Gail, I was listening to the live, you could live watch through Twitter with them. And Scott D'Amore was in there, and Sean Ross Sapp, and Gail Kim, and a bunch of people. And they were just talking, and she's like, oh, we got a surprise at the end, about 40 minutes before whatever. So I kind of put two and two together. But I think it was more so that. I think the Inspiration have been to Tennessee way too many times in the past 2 months to be not sure if they're signing. I think it's in the bag. I honestly want to believe / do believe that this was a red herring, that they were just trying to sway it for the bigger announcement.
Remember the video of them being at the baseball game? I think it was baseball game, and them. Who were all the names they mentioned? I know they
just
mentioned
Bray and
like
Buddy.
Was it just Bray and Buddy? They didn't mention. Okay, I wasn't sure if I couldn't remember who they had mentioned in there, but I mean, it's possible that like we don't know if that video was planned and set up, or if that was actually just them bullshitting and posts. I mean, it's possible that they do set things up to where, like I said, right. You make the announcement, like you said. Oh, we're gonna announce a new signing. Oh, here's a video of this person. Oh yeah, it's gonna be her. I was there. I know what happened. But when you're there, you don't always see, like what you said when you were there. They film stuff super out of order, so you don't see everything the way. So it would be awesome for them to do something that the people that were there didn't know happened, but make it think they do by having a contract.
Yeah, that's really good thinking, and I mean it makes sense. I agree with. I like the contract thing. I won't get into all that. I want to get to superlatives, but I see where you're saying on that part. It's not that exciting when you're watching on top, but I think I get it.
Like, to me, it's more of a live thing. It's more there for the live people to be like, oh yeah, she got offered a contract, but just see it on TV. I'm like, meh.
So
like,
Craig, why don't we do superlatives so we can get into those, because there's some things I'm itching at talking about, my favorites and least favorites.
All right, so let's run through these so we can keep this show running. But we start off with, excuse me, who stood out for you on this show? I can't call it pay-per-view because it's this whole thing. Who stood out the most? Who made the biggest impact? Jeff.
Shit. I know who I want to say, but I think the real answer is Rachel Ellering. I think people, and she posted about it, I think people forget how good she is. Maybe she needed to, get off the ring rust, get back in shape, get to where she's healthy and feels like she can go and has the confidence. I don't know. It had been a while since she wrestled, to my knowledge, prior to us signing her. But just to see her in that spotlight and win a match in advance, which is really cool, first of all. And make sure I'm not wrong. Lady Frost, right, is who she beat? Yeah, really interesting that they grounded Lady Frost. I don't know if she's in the bag with somebody else or something, and that's why they didn't let her do all of her stuff. But I thought it was a good match. It was really surprising. It told more about Rachel than anyone else, in the matches she had, I thought. So I was wicked surprised about that. I thought she was someone, but you also can't ignore Tasha. If we're talking about Impact, grown talent or our home talent, this girl is going to be, said it since day one, man. Her and Kiera, unfortunately Kiera's where, is in the undead realm. Tasha Steelz is legit.
Max.
I think you swayed me,
Yeah.
G. Because I was going to say Mercedes Martinez. I think she's absolutely amazing. I think she's saw her, 3 matches. So I thought outside of the first one, I thought her other 2 were amazing matches. Her versus Rachel. But you might be. I think you're right with Tasha. Is one. She's someone who. Seeing her develop throughout time, similar to Kiera Hogan. I mean, she developed much slower because when we originally first saw Kiera Hogan, it was like a completely different from where she is now. But Tasha has developed her character. I kind of feel like when her and Kiera first kind of got together, Kiera was the star, and she was kind of a step below. And now she's definitely elevated herself obviously way above. She's the star of her tag team, of her group. I said I didn't think Mercedes would be the one to dethrone Deonna. She might be, and I don't think it'll be Tasha because But if Mercedes does end up beating Deonna Purrazzo for that title, I think a Mercedes Martinez Tasha rematch, but on a pay-per-view would be an amazing match. I think Tasha definitely impressed me. She's someone that I did before this. I really kind of thought of her as a tag team, like a tag team special, and someone like that's where her primary focus is in Impact. But after the show, I think she's definitely a future champion. I'd say within the year, because I don't think we're going to have any type of a super long Deonna type reign in 2022. I forgot what year we were in.
All right. Yeah, no, I agree. Or obviously, I'm the one that said it, but I think there's a lot of people that stuck out, and I see a lot of Kimbers in there, but I'll get to why I wasn't most impressed with her later. But I thought everyone did a great job, so it was really good. Craig, what's the next one, bud?
Yeah, so I just mentioned, obviously we are pro wrestling, but things aren't necessarily perfect all the time. So what weren't you keen on that you saw on this show? Max, what starts off?
That's rough to say. I thought it was a good match. I don't know. I don't think there was anything I wasn't keen on. I don't think there was a bad match. I don't think there was a match. The Brandi Loren match was me, but I think that was more of a.
She served her purpose.
Yeah, that was more of a, I guess that would be the one match that I was like, okay, whatever. Like if I need to go to the bathroom, that would be the one. But yeah, she served her purpose. There wasn't anything bad in it. Once again, it would probably be the Muscle Buster onto the Tax, just because that stuff makes me squeamish. But overall, I thought it was a good thing. It was a good show. I don't think there was anything that there isn't a match on there that I would have said, you know what? They could have gotten rid of that one. That one just took up time. That was just a waste. Like everything served its purpose. It was either a tournament match, a title match, or the Monsters Ball. So I don't think there's anything that I was necessarily disappointed with. Really, just the Brandi Loren match was the only one that I don't think was super exciting to watch or enjoyable, just because it was what it was.
Yeah, no, I'm a little different here. There's no match or anything of that nature. I was really happy with everything, as I just said a few times in a row. But Chelsea Green, I was skeptical of her coming back. I was excited when she did come back. I thought we had a rejuvenated, better management, better relationship, Chelsea Green, and I'm sure we still do. And I think she's very talented. I just thought this was a good time for her to show out, man. This was a good time to knock some people off her shoulder, off her back, and say, hey, look, I could do this, I could go. And she did the NWA. I felt she's doing pretty good, but she's not that next level yet. And I'm glad that Tasha got the win there. So I'm not disappointed in anything of the match or the results. Of course, I would love to see more Lady Frost, but I think Chelsea, I don't know, man.
So based off of what you saw of Chelsea, would you have preferred, like, instead of Rachel Ellering and Lady Frost fighting in the first match, like one of them switch with Chelsea and Renee, and then like Lady Frost and Rachel both winning matches, or are you happy with the outcome
I was was
all the
happy with all
matches.
the outcomes. I think, once again, this is about, yes, we are bringing in talent from the outside or talent that might sign with us right after this. But we have some talent that could use the rub. Rachel Ellering being one. And Tasha being another. So I think the right people won. I'm not disappointed with any of that. I'm not the biggest fan of Renee Michelle, but I would say that I was more pleased with this time around of her in there than last. But that's it for me. What else do you got for superlatives there?
Yeah, so one final one. Just give me one name, and then we'll jump to commercial. But out of the four outside knockouts who appeared on the show, who is someone you would invest in? Invest money and invest time in making them that star. Jeff.
Keep it quick. There's one thing I do want to hit after this real quick before we go to the commercial. Mercedes Martinez, you can't deny that if she joined Impact, and I said this on Twitter, the sexiest thing Mickie James has ever said was that this title shot from Mercedes Martinez can only happen after Bound for Glory. Because what that means is we get Mercedes Martinez in Impact still after this year. So I'm really excited about that. But to see more of an invest, you got to think of someone who you can grow and could be your own. Could be our next Tasha or Jordan or whoever else in there, Deonna. I don't know her shtick because it looks like she's all over the place. But the hype, the look of the Savage Gentleman and Lady Frost, man, they need a spot on the roster. And the people in the chat group know these roster spots are really important now because we don't want anyone to pick up anyone that we're just going to have to the wayside. So Lady Frost, I think, is someone who comes in and just knocks it out of the park.
I like Lady Frost, but if I'm picking one, it would be Mercedes Martinez. I think she has the potential to. I do. I don't think she beats Deonna just because I think Deonna beats that record. But if Deonna had already surpassed the longest record, I would pick Mercedes to beat her. I think she would be a legit champion. I think she's the one for me that you would put money in and then build long term. Towards,
my thinking is she's 41, age is a number, but I mean at the same time, Impact's is her timeline the same as ours. Real quick, I just want to mention we didn't do match of the night. I want to hit that really quick, Craig, you as well, and then you can wrap it up there. But two things I want to say before the match, or one thing before the match tonight. LAX, led by Tasha Steelz, Mercedes Martinez, Hernandez, and who used to be No Way Jose. I think that would be a group that it would be really cool. Tasha would lead. I think that'd be dope. Second thing, match of the night. Monsters Ball for me. Now, it is not my favorite match, but I have a good history with that. Raven, Monty Brown, Abyss, Sabu, Jeff Hardy, Rhino. There's just these memories there, and this felt up there like that. I thought the last Knockouts one was pretty damn good as well, or was it the one before that was Su Yung? But man, give everybody in that match their props. It was a beautifully booked match for a hardcore match. It was told well. It gave the rub to Savannah Evans, who has a hard-ass song. Yes, I saw that in there, and her song is hard as fuck. It was a banger of a match. And I said that I wanted this to be Kimber's coming out party. Now, Max and I have known of Kimber for quite a while. She did our last show for us. Great person. I think a phenomenal wrestler, and is now just getting the opportunity to shine, but she might have knocked herself back to the undead realm with that chair shot in the corner. She went head first. Now, I don't know if there was a blade job or it was hard way, but she sold that like a motherfucker. I think Kimber, the tax, everything she does, she has found her footing to get in that door, and I think she will be not Tasha level per se, where she's already lined up to win a championship, but in 2022, I could see Kimber lining up to be a next challenger.
Those like the Undead Realm thing, I thought it was going to be the best for Susan just because I didn't particularly like the Susan character. It was fun when it started. It got old pretty quick. But Su Yung is amazing. But since Kimberly has gone into the undead realm, it's really been a chance for her to shine and just be different than what she was. So I definitely agree with that. My moment of the night, still going with that muscle buster onto the tax. But match tonight, I'm going to go with Mercedes Martinez. She needs to change her name. Like, I need, like, Mercedes Jones or something. The double M's are just messing me up here. Mercedes Martinez versus Rachel Ellering. I just thought both of them can go. I agree with you that this was a pay-per-view where we got to see, or event where we got to see what Rachel can do. She wasn't just Jordan's tag team partner. For me, that was a really good match, and I think that it just highlighted both of them really well.
Awesome, Craig. Wrap that up for us, bud. I know there's a lot that we missed, but I'm sure we'll think of it. Hit us there, and then we'll send it to the commercials for the Impact pins. Where are they? Impact pins. There you go. Still available, limited edition.
So match tonight, I agree with Max, Mercedes Martinez, and Rachel Ellering. It's just a great match for a tournament. It's great. So yeah, as I mentioned, we can now kick it to our latest great advert for the Impact pins.
Here we go, guys.
The school year is back, and this year it's gonna be da bomb. Not. Don't have a cow. Take a chill pill and get saved by the bell. Not that bell. This bell. With Impact Wrestling's 5 new collector pins, you could kick this school year right in the by channeling the teamwork of the Good Brothers.
With us is not only the best tag team in the world, fact,
Or become a leader like the instant classic Christian Cage.
Come back to the Impact Zone as the Impact World Champion.
Cause that's how you roll. No matter who you choose, each pin is limited to 125. They could be signed or unsigned, nicely crafted enamel, and professional, just like Brian Myers.
because I'm the most professional wrestler.
Or put it on and feel the passion of Willie Mack.
A referee decides when I'm done, tell me when I can't go no more, when I know I got plenty left.
Or ooze with girl power and confidence like Deonna Purrazzo.
I'm the virtuosa. I am the greatest technical women's wrestler in the world.
Collect all 5 and be the coolest kid in school. Order now at shopimpact.com. The pins are just pins, $19.95, and you get no true boost. Coming soon, Impact Pogs.
There they are.
Which one of those pins is your favorite, Jake?
Honestly, oh man, the Deonna Purrazzo one is just fucking. It's beautiful. That's a work of art. Brian Myers is cool. I have a love for all of them. I have a love for all of them. Yours, Max? Is that where is that where we're going? Oh, just wondering.
No, I was just wondering.
They're dope. I like them. Definitely worth it. I'm trying to read all the comments. This was taped on June 7th. Yeah, 1997. It was. All right, guys. Yeah, if you're watching on Audioland, or you can hear or listening on Audioland, excuse me, go. We have it up on the commercial up on Twitter, and I could put it up on YouTube as well if you don't want to go through this whole show and watch it. But if you do, thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you. Craig, let's move it on. And yes, sorry, I gotta touch on that. Yes, there is love for Lish. I thought she did really well there. It's just I love Kimber, man, and yeah, that's what I'll say.
All right, so yeah, let's get through these next few. Keep you good folks on time. MLW in talks with major companies. I believe it was Kurt Bell, whatever his name, I can't remember his name. Yeah. Saying that the MLW wants to be on another level to the smaller companies, referring to Impact, I'm assuming. How do you feel on these comments? And yeah, what's the general feeling on Impact being referred to as a smaller promotion, Jeff?
You know, it's a weird position because Court is obviously, we know how he is. He's a carny. We get it. He's got to say what he says, and he does what he does. We're still waiting on that distribution deal for him yet, amongst other things. I think they run a cool thing over there. I also think that they have the history, so that's where it gets complicated. Like, you always can fall back on the fact that we have a video library that is worth X million dollars, right? It goes back how many years? But they have some of that too, but there was a large gap in there. So I don't think that's a fair assessment. I think he's just being himself. And the question it brings more to me is, what is our relationship with MLW? Because, Alex Shelley's there. There's some other heads that are there. TJP that comes back and forth. Sammy prior to that. But LAX debuted as LAX and then changed it to 5150. Right after that, things got a little cold. This came out. So it just feels like, I don't know, maybe they're not happy with us. And honestly, I could give two shits. I'm pro wrestling, but them guys, Court specifically, it's not worth our time. I will say this. We are smaller in the sense that we're getting back to where we should be. But are we on the same level as MLW or ROH or NWA? You'd be on crack to say that. I can't see what we're doing, who we're signing, where we're going, being the parallel of a company, MLW. Now, ratings do matter. I always say they don't. They do, in context. But to get 16,000 up against Impact, shut your mouth. That's what they got in ratings against us on Thursday. So, moving on. Max.
First off, I've heard of MLW. I'm not sure if it's Major League Wiffle Ball or the wrestling company. Major League Wiffle Ball probably would do better numbers, but some of their pitches they throw are nasty. But when it comes to, is Impact a smaller company? Yes. So was ECW. And ECW was in its prime. I mean, it was a movement. Like, it changed the way wrestling worked. Obviously not all their matches, but it definitely took some of the elements. Now, I don't think Impact is anything like that groundbreaking or anything like that, but there's nothing wrong with being a smaller company as long as you understand what you are, you build your promotion correctly, and you can make money. If ECW didn't have money issues, they would have been a place for they were a place for people who were a step below WWF and WCW to go. Some of them made their name there and moved on. Some of them made their name there and stayed until it left. Rob Van Dam, Tommy Dreamer, things like that. If Impact is that, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, we're not going to be WWE. We're not going to be AEW. We don't have the budgets, and we're not going to try and do what they do. I think upgrading just a little bit would be perfect. But even though ECW and Impact were smaller companies, they aren't Vanguard Championship Wrestling. They aren't Hood Stomp Wrestling. They aren't whatever that show we go see in Elizabeth City is.
New.
Where, yeah, they aren't new.
That's me. Pro wrestling.
I mean, so, like, that's what MLW is. That's what NWA. Now, granted, they're bigger than that. But now, ROH, I will say, because of their history, name-wise, I think they're on the same level as.
But here's my thing, though.
But
you finish. You got.
But in terms of like actual production and growth and what they put out there, they're not. They're definitely a step below. It's just their name.
Here's the thing: is in that presser that he's talking about, and that's the problem. I like MLW. I think it has a cool look. It has a refreshing spin on wrestling. I have no problem with it. The problem is when you go specifically out to say and bring Impact down, when you know very well they're signing the IInspiration, Braun, and Buddy Murphy, and you're bringing in the Blue Meanie and Savio Vega and saying that separates you from those other smaller companies.
Okay, so let's be realistic. Blue Meanie and Savio Vega are on the same level as Jay White. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're just completely. If I had to pick one or the other,
that's not.
No, but that's the thing. So to me, that's the thing. Like, Impact's a smaller company, but New Japan wants to work with Impact. AAA wants to work with Impact. AEW wants to work with Impact. So yes, you'll grab MLW wrestlers, but I don't know. To me, it is. Impact is a step above them, but I don't think MLW should be trying to go out there and bash any of the companies. What they should be doing is saying, "Hey, Impact, MLW, AAA, NWA, let's all put on shows together. Let's boost everybody's market." Because of the way the world is, because of how people consume media, it's okay to have WWE, AEW as your two big ones, but you can consume media so much quicker nowadays that all the other promotions can be hugely popular and you can make tons of money just by working together and making matches that you want. So to me, burning a bridge is a dangerous situation, or is a dangerous thing to do, especially with wrestling the way it is now, because with everybody's teaming up, if you burn one bridge and get left out of that forbidden door, it could bury your company.
That's a great point. Great point.
So now moving on to number 3. It's announced this past week that WOW Women's of Wrestling is making its return with a big distribution deal with the CBS in the States, led by, well, first, not led by, but the authority figure, if you like, will be AJ Mendez, formerly known as AJ Lee, and of course Tessa Blanchard will be part of it. How does this affect Impact in the long run, especially with the distribution deal? Does it affect Impact to the point where it's could damage them? Max.
So with the distribution deal, let's see if anybody else, is it going to be on CBS or is it going to be on like Paramount?
It's
Network?
Viacom, so it's not even. It could be anything.
Okay, so most likely it'll probably end up being on their streaming service, which is good for them. Could it hurt Impact? Yes, potentially, with some depth signings. If there's somebody that Impact is looking at signing, not the Inspiration, not anybody major, but somebody a step or two down that Impact's like, hey, we would like to bring you on and develop you over time, there's a possibility you could lose somebody like that to WOW. There's a possibility maybe some of your older stars who I don't know the taping schedule or the touring schedule of WOW, but if it is a much less rigorous or much less intense type of schedule, you may lose some of your older people who say, hey, you know what? I want to do 1 or 2 things a month. I'll choose to go there instead of Impact. You may lose something like that, but the top of the line people that Impact is going to target, I don't think it's going to impact them. Impact is the best spot for women to come in terms of not only in the depth of the division, but the amount of time that Impact puts into their women's division. Somebody, and I'll bring this up, I wasn't going to bring it up on the Inspiration, but I'll bring it up now because it makes sense. Somebody on Reddit mentioned that somebody on Reddit mentioned that the Inspiration should have gone to AEW because AEW has 100 times
exposure,
the viewership that Impact does. The problem with that is if you get 100,000 viewers, but you're on Impact every week, and you get 1 million viewers, but you're only on once every 3 months, I'll take the 100,000 every week as opposed to going someplace that has more with less with me being on there less often.
Plays into this as well. So kind of all together there. First, WOW, does it affect us in the short term? Yes, if they took that deal for peanuts and we were asking for big money. 2, does it affect us in the long term? I don't know because they're not starting till the fall of 2022. And all they have is Tessa Blanchard, AJ Lee as a authority figure, and Jeannie Buss and McLean running it. Now, do they get that television deal if they don't have or streaming deal if they don't have one diddly squat for a fee? I'm sure it was nothing. I'm sure it's a prove it deal on some end. 2, you have McLean who just did Glow with Netflix and owned the original Glow. And then you have Jeannie Buss, who owns the Lakers. So you have that connection there. You bring in an AJ and a Tessa, and you try your best. Could it be something? Sure. I like what Lucha said there. It's exactly what I was going to say. I thought that it would be something like you're saying, Max. It would be those people that are just a little bit below, or some veterans that aren't, ready for a full schedule, because we don't know where we'll be. We seem to be traveling in the new year, so it might not be the same taping schedule for people in our company. But with that said, I think it could be of developmental territory, where in the sense of, hey, you got a streaming deal, you're on Veda, that's awesome, you're doing your own thing, you're developing these women, or not, we don't know what they're going to do. Let them get some notoriety there. Let them build where there's spots open. That's the biggest thing, and I'll segue right into the inspiration if that's okay. That people, and Max was alluding to as well. So with AEW, you have 6 hours plus of content a week. You could get lost in the shuffle. Would they? Probably not. But when you're the inspiration or someone else choosing to sign, and you say, okay, well, I get the hype, I get the numbers, I get all that stuff. Who has been the best to women since its inception of creating a division? It's the Knockouts. If you watch that video package, you saw Awesome Kong came out, Christy Hemme, you saw them talk about Daphne and the lineage there. Dude.
Velvet Sky.
She was in that video. Tag me in. Yeah, no, man. I just think Impact is the place to go as far as the inspiration goes, when they have such a broader range of things that they're trying to accomplish, would it be acting or whatever else. AEW makes more sense there too. First of all, they don't make 100 times the viewership we do. After plus 3s and plus 7s, we're probably anywhere from 350,000 to 500,000 all said and done on a weekly average. While I'm guessing AEW at plus 3 and plus 7 are probably 1.6 mil or something like that. So they obviously do have a number on us. There's no competition.
Yeah, about
right.
3 times.
But sometimes, and it's hard, I realize this in the world, there's a lot of different philosophies when it comes to what's important in the world, but some of them just want the not spotlight, the platform, excuse me, the platform to just go out and knock it out of the fucking park. These girls, I think, had shown their personality, were excited about, gave them that title, thought they were Vince McMahon's favorite, whatever, and then were canned months later and broken up. So I think these girls are just want to get their feet back in here with someone they trust, with someone who's going to give them the exposure and the platform they need, in the sense of putting them on a pedestal, which I think they will. I just think it makes a lot of sense, especially with those Knockouts tag team titles, especially with the influence already being here, the inspiration. It's a first feud made in heaven, and then it continues to add to the division that we're talking about in the Knockouts. And the reason I paused there is I want to say that I know a lot of people think we sign this person, this woman. We'd only have 4 tag teams, 5 tag teams in a division. We have a 2-hour fucking show. I don't know where you want these people to get time. And the thing is we're bringing in the inspiration, allegedly Braun Strowman, allegedly Bray Wyatt, allegedly Buddy Murphy and Tony Nese. Where do you want these people to have time? If we get another show, we'll talk about it. But 4 to 5 tag teams, 4 to 5 challengers, that's Impact's goal or job, to take those 4 or 5 and make it fresh all the time, which I think they've been doing in the more recent times better. But I just think that Impact has the momentum. It has a lot of good things coming, and I think they have a few, cards up their sleeve to where they know something bigger is in the play.
So first off, Impact has updated their roster page. I'm very happy about that. FinJuice was added. So a couple things. One, I agree Impact is the best spot. And similar to what you said, they were in WWE. They're best friends, first off. They were in NXT and created this amazing tag team. They moved to the main roster, won the tag team titles. All of a sudden, Vince is like, you know what? I don't like Australians together. You guys sound funny. I'm going to split you up. Cool. I'm going to split them up. And then he literally put them back together with 2 different people to make 2 new tag teams. And then he fired.
Either way, it's a shitty journey, and we got 5 minutes.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is like they want to be together. They want to be a tag team. With Impact having the Knockouts tag team titles, this is the place to go. They don't have that. So even if you go to AEW, will you get more exposure? Possibly. But they don't have a title for you to go after. If you want to remain a tag team, this is the place to go. And we do have a really good Knockouts tag team division. There's 5 or 6 teams if you like pick everything together with who they can use. And that's a deep division with, like you said, you have a 2-hour show. You have a main feud. You have a number 1 contenders feud, and then you still have one other tag team sit on the bench that can do so. It's the best place to come for them. And I do wonder real quickly about going back to the WoW and CBS thing. I wonder if this is a test for CBS to see how well wrestling does on Paramount at a cheap cost, and then decide, do we want to invest more money into a bigger promotion?
Very plausible. I do want to address that. So they didn't come to NXT as a tag team. They actually didn't like each other. They knew each other in Australia, didn't like each other, went to NXT, happened to be at the same time.
Well, they formed
I'm not
a tag
saying
team
to
in
you,
NXT
I'm responding to the chat group there.
Oh.
All good. All right, let's get to BFG. We have a few minutes. If we go a little bit over, I apologize, but I want to get to BFG because the goal of this is to promote Impact, right? So let's talk about it. We still have it up here from our game playing days. Bound for Glory as a whole. Right now we have Christian Cage and Josh Alexander locked in. Deonna Purrazzo versus Mickie James locked in. X Division Championship. Now we have Trey and Macklin, and then the winner of, who is it, Rohit?
Willie, El Phantasmo,
I
and
hope
Rohit.
it's El Phantasmo,
So
not because it's El Phantasmo, more so because it'd be 3 people that have never won the X Division title. We're getting a new champion no matter what. So I really dig that. I hope it is El Phantasmo. I'm glad you agree. I saw Craig nodding there. And then the Call Your Shot Battle Royal continues to be something of importance. Swan, Myers, Moose, and Morrissey. That's 4 of 20 people that are going to be in this. Okay? I think something good and big is going to happen with this. I think they're going to make it as important as possible. And Moose and Morrissey are talking a lot of shit on how they're going to find it hard. Someone's going to find it hard to eliminate them.
They're going to eliminate each other.
I want to make a prediction for the Coil Shot Gauntlet. Now, it's going to. I'm not predicting a winner here. I'm predicting someone who will enter it and probably get eliminated at some point, quite early on. But I'm going to say Gia Miller enters the Coil Shot Gauntlet. I don't know why. I just have a feeling.
For a fun booking thing, I mean, that's.
I want Gia Miller to enter that gauntlet.
Yeah, I
She's wrestling a lot more.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, that'd be cool. I loved when they did that with when Tommy first came back to Impact and he was booking them, and he did a thing where who was it? Pope got off the commentary set, his music hit, which I'm a mark for anyways, and he got off and went to... I just love little things like that, the creativity of that, so that'd be a really cool idea.
I know it'll never happen. I just want to hear 4 words. Get ready to fly.
Oh my... Yeah, that's gonna happen. But, yeah...
We can hope.
Hey, hope in one hand, shit in the other, right? Let's see which fills up faster. All right.
I hoped AJ would show up at Royal Rumble, and he did.
Yeah, because you're an asshole, Max. He should have went back to Impact.
He was in
well,
there.
Actually, that's the question I'm going to ask. So we got the press pass this week coming up Tuesday with the Good Brothers. And if we get called upon, Mr. Ross and Miss Gale, I would love to know... Who hosts?
D'Lo's hosting.
Oh, D'Lo?
Hosting this one.
Well, we better recognize that. I'm going to ask them if their logo that they use now is the one that them and AJ created at Dixie's home when they reneged on the contract and booked it. I want to know.
Don't say it that way. Be nicer about it.
I'm talking to you guys. This isn't. I'm not reading my. I'm just saying that's the general.
You were very bitter about that. I can sense the bitterness.
I was too. I lost my shit when AJ walked out of that Royal Rumble. I lost my shit.
I did too. I was watching the show.
In a
same.
bad way. I was
in a bad way.
I fucking hated it.
I did too, because the way it ended, as far as that seemed to be Impact saving grace, them three coming in, and I hope that would have helped. But looking back on it, hindsight's 2020, but it wasn't good timing. It wasn't meant to be. The Good Brothers are doing a whole hell of a lot now behind the scenes and in front of the camera that they couldn't have done back then, I don't think. And eventually AJ, he needed to get his, not for him, but I think he needed to get that, this guy's legit no matter where he goes.
Yeah, monkey off his back.
True this, true that. So, Craig, why don't you hit me? You obviously just had a great idea with Gia. I'm not going to type her in there. But what other match are you looking forward to? What do you think's coming?
Good Brothers versus Bullet Club, but not the two members of Bullet Club that win the match.
Yeah, I think that's where we're all headed. I know Brother Mike, Combat Republic. Go check out his stuff, Brace for Impact. Him and JD, I believe his name. Good stuff. They mentioned it as well. And he was actually in the chat talking about it. But I just think it makes a real cool moment and a lot of sense for Bullet Club to win. But it'd be GOD that pops out. But we'll say, so is that where we're all three of our hoping or locking in, or do we think that's...
Okay. I'll go with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Iconics or the Inspiration, it'll take a little time to get used to that. But we'll be doing something. We don't know if they'll be wrestling. Probably not. So who do you think Decay faces?
I'm going to go the Undead Realm. I think that's the match in potentially a cinematic match.
I would love that. I would. I think Impact is known right now, I think, for a lot of us and a lot of people coming back to it, as the group that gives you a little bit of everything. A little bit of dark, a little bit of light, a little comedy, a little great wrestling. It's all over the place. So I think the Undead Realm on this card just makes so much sense. Are we all still feeling, even though Christopher Daniels kind of said his goal was to get that, which I cried a tear of joy for, his goal was to come back for the thing that has haunted him his whole career, that escaped him his whole career, that Impact World Championship. Do you think he's waiting in the shadows, or do you think we get that Ace versus Christopher Daniels dream match?
No, I think Ace will be in the gauntlet. I don't see Daniels having a match on this.
I could see Daniels being in the gauntlet.
Yeah. Okay. Because
he's not going to have a match.
Okay. So that leaves us with potentially 3 more matches still. Every title already... Well, the digital DM title will be pre-show before the Glory. So we have 3 matches. What are we seeing here? I imagine they're going to have another Knockouts one on there in some capacity. I think if this is your biggest moment, you show up with 3 knockout matches and women in this Call Your Shot Battle Royal. I think it sets you apart from everyone else. Heath Rhino, yeah, I like that. I think that could be.
For Heath, I think it's going to be Heath running the gauntlet of VBD, and then Rhino being the last member. But they don't fight in the embrace.
Okay, so we'll put Heath versus VBD in sub capacity is what we think might happen. What other storylines are really? I mean, obviously Morrissey and Moose. What are we doing with Eddie? Is Eddie going to show back up in the Battle Royal and ruin their time? Obviously, we thought it was going to be the Wolves versus the Good Brothers, or the Wolves versus Morrissey and Moose, but obviously they're in the Battle Royal.
Eddie, yeah, I think either the gauntlet or he's going to be out for a while.
Okay.
I think Eddie will be in the gauntlet.
Okay. So that leaves 2. Yeah.
One thing I think that you could see, and now I'm basing this 100% off of the original video we saw, but I think you may see just Jay White defend his title against someone from New Japan, just as kind of a showcase for, hey, this is what these guys are.
I'm cool with that. New Japan's obviously represented through if God comes. Obviously, Alpha and
Vince,
Phantasmo.
that's what I'm saying. If we're doing, if the Bullet Club people are showing up, I feel like it would make sense for Jay White to be there, and I feel like the most logical explanation is him being there with a match with either someone from Impact or just someone from New Japan as kind of a hey, you know.
Yeah.
Because right now, a lot of those guys are in New Japan with New Japan Strong. So it wouldn't surprise me if either it's him or somebody from, you see some type of New Japan title defended, maybe the New Japan Strong title, just to give that some exposure as well.
That's a good point.
I really want Suzuki to show up, but I don't see where now. I thought Moose, but that's not going to happen.
It would be the Call Your Shot Battle Royal. That would be like.
Yeah, I just think you don't waste a one-on-one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Is that what you bring?
That's what I'm saying. You can set up their one-on-one by having Suzuki come in and eliminate Moose.
Yeah.
Or so you can do things like that if you want to set up something longer down the line. That's one good thing about Battle Royals is you can technically set up multiple future feuds just by who eliminates who.
That's a good point. And Matthew Waywald's doing his thing too. That's a minor feud that can continue into the Call Your Shot, can continue into something bigger. We don't know what this undercard is going to look like, even if you want to call it the undercard, because this shit's stacked. And the point getting to is you got 16 more people in this Call Your Shot Battle Royal. You figure you have at least a few surprises. You got to fill that up. Who's left after this? And I will take a look into that next week. I'll write down everyone that we think is going to be in matches, and then I'll bring that the remaining to this group, and we could talk it over as one of the points. But I think it's just going to be a top to bottom banging card, and then the fact that Turning Point is live. Something's coming. Somebody's coming. We'll see what happens. Another fun episode, guys. A lot to talk about. I hope we squeezed it all in, and if we didn't, write us, and we will include it in the next episode. As I said last week, we have a Bound for Glory schedule coming out with more content. We're locking in the dates. I apologize, it's not ready yet, but it'll be ready this week, and you'll get to see some really cool stuff, including a unofficial Impact board game, which will be fun.
So with Bound for Glory being, it's the 23rd, right? So it's not next Saturday, it's the following Saturday. I would expect that on this week's episode of Impact, you may see 2 or 3 more matches be set for Bound for Glory. I can't imagine they want to go into the week before, like 2 days before Bound for Glory, and have to put together, even though we've been seeing feuds build, I can't think they're going to want to announce like 5 matches on that.
Yeah, I agree, man.
It could be an interesting
It could
episode
be, and for us as well. Exciting times. I'll let Craig kick it out, but thank you for listening. Hit the subscribe button. Craig will bash it in there too. 3,300. We're looking for 3,300. 2 weeks away to Bound for Glory, as Max just mentioned. Build up is great so far. Keep it coming. Keep up the love for Impact Wrestling. Craig.
Yeah, so as Jeff mentioned, just hit subscribe. If you're watching this on YouTube, it takes 2 seconds, but it really helps us a lot. Of course, find us here, there, and everywhere. You can see all of our social medias on the screen below each of us. All the numbers to the left or right. I can't. I'm very tired.
Greg, point to your left.
Your left.
Your left. Okay, point to your right. They are to your right.
I'm dyslexic with stuff like that. I don't know.
The toilet, the water goes backwards too. Isn't that a thing or something? All right. So the numbers are there.
I know.
Craig, get some sleep.
Yes, they are to your right, Craig.
Yes, Craig's right. You can catch us here, catch us there, you can catch us everywhere. He is the MIC. I'm gonna finish it for you. Get the fuck out of here. He needs to sleep.
Yeah.
Tuesday, State of Impact. We will be back. Sorry we were not there last time. Diamond Villains in the building. There you go. And if you want to help, we got an interesting advertising opportunity. We're trying to throw money together. If you want to help us out, let us know. If not, fuck us. Who cares? But thank you. Go, please support. If money is going to go anywhere, go to Tag Me In first at ProWrestlingTees.com or ImpactWrestling.com. Support that in mental health. And if you ever need help, we're here for you. Max, Craig, let's say our goodbyes.
Later, guys. Panama beat USA in soccer, by the way, guys. It's the end of an era.
Goodbye.
Later.